Proud of my son Hunter. He has overcome an addiction. He's one of the brightest, most decent men I know, and I am satisfied that I'm not going to do anything. I said I abide by the jury decision, and I will do that, and I will not pardon him.
Second one, would the president pardon or commute his son if he's convicted?
So I've answered this question before. It was asked of me not too long ago, a couple of weeks ago, and I was very clear, and I said no.
Okay. We go back to the first question of the briefing. I know you said not a lot's changed since yesterday and that it's a personal matter, but from a presidential perspective, is there any possibility that the president would end up pardoning his son?
No.
Again, you've also said several times that the president would not pardon or commute the sentence for his son, Hunter. I just want to make sure that that is not going to change over the next 6 months. The president's saying it would not.
It's still a no. It's still a no.
It will always be a no.
It's still a no. It will be a no. It is a no. And I don't have anything else to add. Will he pardon his son? No.
We now turn to a Fox News alert. President Biden is expected to issue a pardon for his son, Hunter.
Shocking.
Yes, Biden said on multiple occasions that he would not pardon his son, or he whispered it, or commute his sentence. The pardon comes ahead of Hunter's December 12th sentencing for his conviction on federal gun charges. Hunter is also set to be sentenced on tax evasion charges December 16th. None of that's going to happen.
What's up, y'all? Gerald here, creator of Gospel Chops and your host for this YouTube channel, back with another video. Now, y'all, by now, I'm sure you have heard the news that Joe Biden has pardoned his son, Hunter Biden. Yes, that Hunter, crack-smoking Hunter, drug-addicted Hunter, degenerate, pervert Hunter Biden has received a pardon from the President of the United States, who just so happens to be his father, y'all. And Hunter is off the hook. Well, for those of y'all who follow stories like this, you're probably in the same camp I'm in. We knew that this was going to happen. This is no surprise to anyone because Joe Biden is a parent and he had the power to stop the suffering that his child might endure, and he used his power to do so. Any parent would do that, right? But this is a little different because Joe Biden is not only the president, he's not only a parent, Joe Biden is a suspected criminal. Not just any kind of criminal, but a treasonous criminal who betrayed this country, allegedly, during his vice presidency, serving under Barack Obama. And ain't that something? While we there, can we park right there just for a second? Because Barack Obama, having Joe Biden as his vice president, running around the world, shaking down countries, shaking down dictators, shaking down oligarchs all over the world. Every time they put Joe Biden in charge of something, there was a shakedown going on, and his family enriched themselves based on his responsibilities overseas. You don't find that interesting that he did that as the vice president? And you think Barack Obama didn't know about that? Rewind to the tape where Joe Biden threatened to withhold $1 billion from Ukraine. They didn't do what he said. He wanted that prosecutor fired because he was sniffing too close to what Hunter Biden was doing in Ukraine. Joe Biden said, if you don't fire that prosecutor, you don't get the $1 billion. And you know what Ukraine said? They said, you can't do that. You ain't even a president. What did Joe Biden say? He said, here go the phone. Call him. I bet you he's going to agree with me. Call him. I don't have to be the president. I know the president. I work for the president. Call him. You know what that tells me? That Barack knew all along. Just like emails were found from Barack Obama's office to Hillary Clinton's private server at her home that she used to skirt around federal law. Yeah, she didn't want y'all pulling up a FOIA and getting her emails. So she just put a private server in the house. And when things went left, she scrubbed it. She destroyed the evidence. She smashed the cell phones, y'all. This is Hillary Clinton, y'all, the Secretary of State under Barack Obama. So here you have a corrupt Secretary of State, a corrupt Vice President, and here you have the President of the United States, and y'all expect me to believe he didn't know anything about it? And now he's one of the richest blackity blacks on the planet? Well, what did he do to enrich himself? Well, same thing all other politicians do to enrich themselves. Have y'all been pocket watching Nancy Pelosi? Oh, she rich. But back to the Hunter Biden pardon because I digress. Joe Biden says, Hunter, you are pardoned for all crimes that you have been convicted of, that you've been accused of. But here's the rub, y'all. This pardon is such a blanket pardon, such an overreaching, overarching pardon that it goes back 15 years or so and coordinates with the time that Hunter started working for Burisma in Ukraine. Yo, the very beginning of the corruption. Y'all ever do something shady and have to backdate some paperwork? Seems like that's what Biden is doing here. He's not just taking the gun charge that Hunter was convicted of and taking the tax evasion charge that Hunter was convicted of. No, he's not just doing that. He backdating some stuff and then covering some stuff that wasn't even included in the conviction. See, if y'all remember, the DOJ went before a judge in Delaware where Hunter was facing the gun charge. What they tried to do was say, okay, judge, we've come to a deal. Prosecutor and defense counsel, everything is copacetic, judge. We just need you to sign off on it. They thought they was going to pull a fast one, but the judge looked at it and said, hey, wait. What is this tax stuff in here? I'm presiding over a gun case. What are y'all doing with this tax stuff? I ain't got nothing to do with this, and I'm not signing it. You're not going to get me to put my name on something that I have no jurisdiction over. They thought they was going to pull a fast one, y'all. But the judge was not going to risk her name and reputation for these clowns. She saw the shenanigans. She saw the lawfare. She saw what was going on. She dodged the bullet, much like Donald Trump. But here we are. So when that blew up, they had to walk Hunter through the process, make him look like a normal guy, like you and I would be prosecuted for something like this. And say, okay, Joe Biden made up this narrative. You know, he used to like to say throughout his career, if y'all follow Joe Biden through his 40 plus years of government service, he would always say, my word as a Biden, as if his word was supposed to mean something, as if his name was supposed to mean something. Very narcissistic. But what we're finding out, as if we didn't already know, is that Joe Biden's word means nothing. Joe Biden's name means nothing. Your word as a Biden, you said you wasn't going to pardon this boy. Your word as a Biden, you took an oath to protect this country from all enemies, foreign and domestic. Then you opened the back door, you opened the front door, and you let everybody come on in. Crime skyrocketing. Government facilitating illegal immigration. Along with that illegal immigration comes drug trafficking, sex trafficking, human trafficking. And Joe Biden, the grifter in chief of America, allowed all of this stuff to happen under his name, under his word as a Biden. Well, Joe, you have put the icing on the cake of your despicable racist career in government, and we will be so happy when that doorknob hits you where the good Lord split you.
CNN has learned President Biden will pardon his son, Hunter Biden. CNN Chief National Affairs Correspondent Jeff Zeleny, I believe, is with us. Jeff, can you hear me?
And Jessica, yes.
Okay, what are you learning?
Look, we are just getting a statement from President Joe Biden. He's saying that today he signed a pardon for my son, Hunter, and he goes through the reasoning why. Of course, Hunter is facing a sentencing later this month, but this is really a monumental moment for President Biden. He said several months ago in June, when he was still seeking a re-election, that he would not pardon Hunter Biden, but now we are learning he is. And let's just read through this statement quickly together. He said, today I signed a pardon for my son, Hunter. From the day I took office, I said I would not interfere with the Justice Department's decision-making, and I kept my word, even as I watched my son being selectively and unfairly prosecuted. So this is a fairly long statement, about 4 or 5 paragraphs from President Biden, but really going through why he is making this decision. He also goes on to say this. He said, no reasonable person who looks at the facts of Hunter's cases can reach any other conclusion than Hunter was singled out because he is my son, and that is wrong. He goes on to say there's been an effort to break Hunter, who has been 5.5 years sober, even in the face of unrelenting attacks and selective prosecution. So, of course, Jessica, let's take a step back. You obviously covered the Biden campaign along with me, and this is something that Hunter Biden has been dealing with. This was a tax case, a gun case. He went through his trial in Delaware. There was another case in Los Angeles. But this is really the culmination of President Biden really making the decision tonight to sign a pardon for his son Hunter, not just a commutation of a possible sentence, but a pardon, which certainly will be part of President Biden's legacy going forward.
So, I just heard it. I have to process it. I don't have a take. I'm sorry.
Anyone, Michelle, Mary, presidential power in action on President Biden pardoning his son.
I mean, look, I don't think that Democrats can uphold all of these norms single-handedly. Hunter Biden was prosecuted for a crime that kind of a normal person who had committed the same crime would almost certainly not be prosecuted for. And Joe Biden bent over backwards not to intervene in order to show, sort of how much of a respecter of norms he was, unlike Donald Trump. But yeah. We see kind of what that got him. And I certainly understand why, why he would not want to forfeit the future and life of his son to uphold a set of norms that are about to go up in smoke.
What do you think of this, Mary? The president had said that he would not seek a pardon for his son, and here we are using presidential power. Is this now kind of a blank check to the incoming administration to use whatever power is at its disposal for whatever things it wishes to achieve?
Well, as you know, the pardon power is absolute. It is one of those powers that is exclusively given to the president. And I do think, people will be asking Joe Biden what changed, because he did say pretty clearly he was not planning to pardon his son. I will note we are ending a Thanksgiving Day weekend, and I'm sure the family was all together, and I'm sure that caused him to think long and hard. But I will be interested to hear what he has to say about what changed. Michelle is right that the crimes that Hunter Biden was prosecuted for are things that would not ordinarily result in the types of prosecution we saw. And I don't think that issuing a pardon opens the floodgates to abuses of other types of power, because a pardon is part of that exclusive authority of the president. We know that the incoming president has already talked about various types of pardons. I'm hoping he will not engage in all of those that he has suggested, particularly with respect to the January 6th attackers, those who attacked the U.S. Capitol. But that all, of course, remains to be seen.
And there you have it, y'all. We are not surprised by these shenanigans. It's been an escalation of shenanigans over the last 4 years of this administration. And it's surprising to me that Americans couldn't see it coming. It's surprising to me that Americans are still trying to stand behind this in the mainstream media. They're still trying to push the narrative, even though we see it with our own eyes. Y'all, isn't this amazing that these folks will stand in front of you, lie to your face, and then try to make you forget the lie when they just finished telling the lie? No, I didn't say that. Corinne Jean-Pierre. Cringe Pierre. No, didn't say that. No, Joe Biden never said that. No, Hunter never did that. No, if Hunter was you, you would have never been charged for such things. Listen, y'all. Those of us who live regular, normal, everyday American lives, we understand what it is. We see it for what it is. Hunter was a crack-smoking boy who still got admitted to one of the top law schools in the country. Why is that? Hunter was a crack-smoking boy who still worked at one of the most prestigious law firms in the country. Why is that? How is that? Well, because rich folks is rich and poor folks is poor. You can't even afford the OR. You ain't poor, you poor. And that's what it is in America. So I suggest you do the work necessary. Everything within your power. Do the hard work. Do the research. Get your weight up. Start a business. Do everything you can. Read all the books you can. Acquire knowledge and put that knowledge into practice, and make sure you get rich before you get poor. In America, you'll find out that things work a little different when you got money. You'll find out that people act a little differently towards you when you got money. You'll find out that when you face charges, local, state, or federal, well, when you got a little money, a couple coins that you can rub together, sometimes, y'all, you can make those things go away. And that is the American way. Like it or not, it is what it is. Y'all let me know what you think about this, because he didn't just get a pardon for the crimes he was convicted of. He got a pardon for things he might be convicted of, things he might or might not have done. I mean, this is an absolute pardon. But in so doing, if you know like I know, Joe Biden was just protecting himself, because Hunter Biden wasn't smart enough to be the bag man. Hunter Biden was working under the direction of Joe Biden and James Biden. And remember this, y'all. He's still got a few weeks left in office. Don't be surprised if Joe Biden gives himself a pardon on the way out. Don't be surprised if Joe Biden pardons his brother Jim on the way out. If I was advising Joe, I say, look here, bruh, we got evidence that all your kids was getting wires from across the world. Money went to your grandkids, to your in-laws, to your cousins. Everybody was getting a bag and passing it along to Joe. That's what the evidence shows in these congressional investigations. Well, Joe better pardon everybody, because if he leaves just a little beam of light, that new DOJ is going to pounce on it. Turn that little beam into a high beam, into a great ball of fire. That's going to open this thing back up. We'll see how it goes. Y'all let me know what you think about this hot mess. That's only going to get hotter on the way out for Joe Biden in the next couple weeks, y'all. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share the video so we can get more people involved in the conversation, y'all. And like I always say, always remember and never forget, without the gospel, it's just chops. Until next time, peace.